In this video, I want to talk about some of the major announcements from Oracle. So what's new in their cloud infrastructure? And I'm very pleased. I'm here with Andrew Sutherland. You're the Senior Vice President for Cloud in EMEA.
That's right.
What are some of the big announcements?
What's the big announcement? Well,
exciting?
gosh, there's a lot of them, aren't there? So there's been announcements in data science, there's been announcements here with respect
And I heard you say earlier, you've been in Oracle now for 25
25 years.
And you were saying this is the most exciting time.
I've seen a few announcements in my time.
Yeah.
But this is a very exciting time for Oracle, indeed. And I'm sure I hope for our customers as well. The transition towards cloud continues apace. And while we see a plethora of announcements, connectivity, for example, between Microsoft Cloud and Oracle Cloud being brought into Amsterdam, we see data science cloud being made available. I can group them together really into the big message here, which is the cloud is now enterprise ready.
Right.
And honestly, our experience with an Oracle is our customers are there waiting for us. They've learned about cloud, often from edge applications and trying out various things here and there. But for the most part, large-scale data management systems, OLTP systems have not yet moved on to the cloud, and they don't yet have all the advantages that cloud can afford them. It's now cloud ready. That's the big announcement now. We're building a new data center regions at the rate of one every 23 days. More being announced here. The security capabilities, as I say, the connectivity with Microsoft, for example, these are all about reducing the hurdles, lowering any risk in customers bringing their workloads onto the cloud to see them even more secure, even more performant, and even lower cost. That's behind all the announcements.
And I guess this makes multi-cloud infrastructure really feasible for enterprises.
It makes it feasible, and that's a real way of doing it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Of course, every vendor would love them to be only that vendor, and Oracle's no different with that. Of course we would. But let's be realistic. I think one of the big learnings on the cloud journey for all of us, by the way, has been that in the early days, perhaps it was cloud is only for new things, only for cloud native, and legacy was legacy. That's not really the case. There's an awful lot of very good investment has been made in on-premise technologies in the past. A lot of experience, a lot of knowledge, a lot of process, IP built in there. So let's make sure we can bring these to the cloud easily. That's what OCI, Oracle's Cloud Infrastructure, is there to do. But sometimes you might say, well, look, some of that logic is in the database, some of the application, some of the obviously the data's there, but some of that application logic or that maybe the directory services and things like that, they might well have been in Microsoft on premise. Let's not beat around the bush. Let's help everybody get to the cloud quickly. So this again lowers a hurdle and allows you to bring these exactly multi-cloud or what were multi-ecosystem on-prem into a multi-cloud. With the real reason that we can all benefit from getting into the cloud.
So the big buzzwords have been around autonomous database. Can you share some?
Thank you for prompting me, because I couldn't possibly leave anything without saying announcements about autonomous. Autonomous is I think probably the most exciting product in my 25 years within Oracle to come out. It goes beyond automation, and it actually uses machine learning for the database to work out what it does itself. Can I read just a little anecdote, which as a technologist I was fascinated by. NetSuite is a business application, and of course it's owned by Oracle, wasn't always. It's based upon the Oracle database. And it took years of NetSuite engineers, because the workload was known to be NetSuite, you could tune the database. You could put a special speed up here from using an index and so on. You tune the database to meet NetSuite. As a test, with Autonomous, what we did was we put NetSuite on an untuned, just generic autonomous database and let it run for a week or two. In that time, it did the equivalent of 8 to 10 years of manual tuning. It just learned, I need an index there. If I'm going to answer that, because that's a common query, let's make sure that I speed that one up. And it tuned itself, so it needed a fraction of the resources by itself. It's a fascinating capability. I think while it offers immediate performance, immediate cost saving, I think the implications of autonomous IT, not just a database, are going to be felt for decades to come.
Yeah, great example. And openness was another big buzzword.
Yes, I think again linked in partly with the linking of the Microsoft Cloud and the Oracle Cloud, but we really want to bust that myth that the clouds are closed. Oracle Cloud is absolutely open. You can bring other databases if you want to. If you can run the database on your premises, you can run it on your premises, run it on our cloud. And again, that's all about making it open. We really want to help our customers get the benefit from the cloud. We want to encourage them and help them see these benefits as quickly as possible.
And then convergence is something that we talked about.
Convergence is I think, a fascinating issue. As we see the cloud, I suppose it's not just the existence of the cloud, it's really the pressure from consumers, you and I, with our watches and our home automation systems, and there's so many different types of data appearing, whether it be spatial data or whether it be, we call it key value pair, this door is open, that window is off, so on. You can store all that in a relational database, but it's just not, it's not going to be efficient. So there's a real temptation to get one database this, one different data mechanism for that, one different circulation. And by the way, IT's full of that in the past. We've always been tempted to choose the right horse for the right course, but it all too often that then starts to diverge, and they take on lives of their own, and they take on different skill sets, and these people don't talk to these people, and that's just terribly damaging when it comes to data, as we all know. So yes, around about the Oracle database, we're ensuring that it is no longer just a relational database by any means. It is a single source for all of your digital information, all of your data. It's got transactional integrity, it's got enterprise scalability and security. You don't need to patch together different sources. That's a big part of the messaging as well.
Great.
Super.
Thank you. Super exciting.
It is indeed.
It
Thank
is.
you for joining us.
Thank you.
You.